Today is a big day, and I've been really trying to figure out the direction I wanted to go with this video for it to make sense and also for it to provide some value for you guys. And I think I figured out just the way I want to construct the video to where everyone wins. So, as you can tell from the title, today we are going to be crossing a huge milestone with any car, and we're going to be passing the 100,000 mile mark. I'm currently at 99,973. Luckily, I live really close to Highway 1, which is a straight shot pretty much all the way to San Francisco. I only have, less than 30 miles to go. So I'm gonna hop on Highway 1. I'm gonna put some miles in. I'm gonna get these last miles before my car pretty much devalues at 100,000 miles, but not like I'm ever gonna sell it, but that's okay. I thought it'd just be pretty cool to document it, and I'm actually gonna show you guys here. We are at, can you see? Bam, right there. And I'm gonna get it right when it passes 100,000. So hopefully I don't crash. I think we'll be all right. And also what I'm gonna be talking about, which is gonna be a huge part of this video, is how I got to this point with really no issues. I'm gonna talk about good maintenance habits, what you should be checking on periodically to get you to 100,000 miles safe and sound. We got less than 20 to go. And while we are racking up these miles, I figure it's a good time to talk about how to get here safe and sound, no issues. Well, it's kind of hard to say. Cars are always going to have issues, but I think what's really important, and the first thing I want to address, is I feel like maybe it's just my personality. I'm very self-aware of myself and anything that is close to me, aka my car obviously is very close to me. So I always am very aware of any noises that my car makes, anything that looks off, anything that sounds off. I'm always very self-aware of it, and I address that problem as fast as I can so it doesn't turn into a bigger problem, which I think a lot of people maybe shy away from issues with their car, and then it turns into a bigger problem, and then turns into a bigger problem, and then somehow your engine explodes. I'm just saying, this could just be my theory, but I think a big thing about making your car as reliable as possible is addressing issues, if they're small right away, is addressing any issue that you think that there is, or if you can't do it yourself, then taking it to a shop and getting it checked out as soon as possible, I think will aid you in getting your car to be obviously the most reliable. Because I know you probably don't want to shell out the money right away, but doing a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there is better than replacing your engine, for example, just by letting that little weird thing keep going and going and going. I hope that made sense. I think it makes sense. Another very important thing, which I'm a huge advocate of, and I know everyone already knows this, but it's very important to reiterate, which is, I don't know if you guys see, oh, I just hit 600. You guys can see, wow, you see that trip right there? Use that little trip counter to your advantage and clock when you do your oil changes, so you're always on top of it. I do my oil changes religiously every 3,000. I literally get the freaking heebie-jeebies if I go above 3,000 without doing an oil change. I'm always really huge in it. And I've touched on this before, but having forged internals and having a little bit larger piston to wall clearance, I tend to burn a little bit more oil. So I'm always checking up on my oil about every 1,000 miles and making sure I'm always topped off and good to go. But even, obviously not having forged internals, I would say checking up on your oil when you're getting, a more high mileage car, always very important. It can always be a telltale sign of things going bad. You could have oil consumption problems because of PCV, or bigger problems as far as maybe valve stem seals or piston rings or anything like that. So checking your oil, regular maintenance on that, very, very important. All right, we have 10 more miles to go. We're gonna get those 10 miles in on the way back to my house, but I thought it'd be a good idea to pull over at the spot that I like a lot, and I can't run them up. I swear, you guys don't understand how many times I mess up like that, and I just restart my whole clip. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna pop the hood, and I'm gonna show you guys some things that I think you should be checking out you know, periodically. This is not like an every time thing. This is not like every time you get gas kind of thing. It's not that important. But I definitely think it should be a periodic thing, maybe every, you know, 5,000 miles or so. Maybe every time you do an oil change, this is probably what you should be checking. I'm gonna go ahead and show you some stuff under the hood, and then maybe show you some telltale wear signs of maybe like some CV boots and stuff like that, because that is one problem that did occur, just, you know, naturally for it being a Subaru. This CV boot over here is very close to the downpipe. The downpipe's obviously straight off the turbo. It's gonna be super, super hot, and that CV boot, the rubber, is gonna go through super hot, super cold, super hot, super cold. You know, over time, it's gonna end up pretty much exploding, which my CV boot did over there. So that's definitely something you should be checking up on. I think mine blew out at around 75,000 miles or so, is when my CV boot went. So I'm sure it's pretty common. So definitely something to check out. Let's go ahead, pop the hood, and we will check out some stuff that I think you should be checking every so often. I feel like a lot of people didn't know, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you didn't know that I actually powder coated my alternator the same as my intake manifold. It's called Illusion Blueberry. I think it's like Prism powder coat or something like that as a company that makes it, but this is how it looks. Looks pretty freaking fresh now. Now let's show you some stuff that I think you should be checking every so often. Really important things to check is, of course, any sort of fluid level that you can check very easily. Brakes. You can see here, I actually flushed mine when I did my Brembos. You can see it's really clean. It's at a proper level. That's looking good. Clutch as well, making sure that's at a good level. And as far as the color, it being not super dirty, not contaminated, is very, very important. Also, easy things to check, obviously, oil level, and also power steering. You can see I always clean up the actual canister itself to make sure that there is a very clear level that I can be looking at. You can see all the levels are looking good. Now right down there, you can kind of see a CV boot and axle. Nah, you could barely see it. Anyway, there's a CV boot and axle. That's the one that actually blew out, because look how freaking close it is to the downpipe. There's obviously transmission. Axle comes off of that. And then the CV boot is pretty much right next to the downpipe. That's the one that blew. That's the one you should be checking. When you have your car up in the air, maybe when you're doing an oil change, check up on that. See if the rubber's good. See if it's still good and malleable, not super hard and crispy and ready to freaking tear. Another thing to check is, of course, maybe valve covers as well. Good thing to check. What the valve covers are is, that's your valve cover right down there. Obviously, Subaru engines are freaking sideways. Normally, valve covers will be on top or the side for like a V shape. But it's always good to check on top. But of course, gravity playing a role in everything. It's important to lift the car up and check valve covers underneath, which you can kind of see the little seal right there. While we are on the topic of power steering, another thing to look out for is a small puddle occurring right on top of the block. This is the power steering pump, which I actually had replaced brand new because this guy started to leak. Like I said, my car's about to hit 100,000. This guy's never been replaced. There's some gaskets and seals that tend to fail in the power steering pump, and you'll see on top of the block there'll actually be a small puddle of power steering fluid, which is a telltale sign your power steering pump is giving up. It's on its last leg. They're pretty freaking expensive, but once I replaced it, no more leak, all good to go. Definitely a good thing to check. Had to freaking throw on the merch, you know what I'm saying? It was getting cold out here. Luckily I had the hoodie freaking in the bag. If you haven't copped one, make sure you do. I don't plug myself that much, I don't think, but I do appreciate everyone that has ordered one. I actually just had someone order one from Australia. Shout out to the boy. And then he posted it on his Instagram, and apparently it arrived on his birthday. So it was freaking sick. He got a sticker, he got a hoodie as well, and it just blew my mind that someone from so far actually like supports the vids enough to like cop some stuff. It was pretty sick. There's not that many left. There's still, you know, there's still a few. And another thing is I send all of them myself. I don't like send it to like a different like manufacturer to then get sent to someone else. I package everything myself. I fold it on myself. Everything literally ships directly from me in my room. I do it all right there, and then I end up sending it out. So everyone who has ordered one, I appreciate you. And if you still want one, there is still some left. So if you want to cop one, you want to support the boy, you want to freaking support the builds and some epicness coming up, definitely make sure you get one. Okay, enough plugging, enough plugging. more thing I realized that went wrong or that failed before 100,000 miles, and it was like a huge thing on my channel. I was trying to figure out what the hell was wrong with my car. Was both, not just one, both at the same time, which makes sense. The oil control valves. I'm sure some of you guys remember. I was having a timing issue under boost. It was having that weird stuttering kind of thing. And what those oil control valves are, which I can show you if you don't know what they look like. They're right on top of the valve covers. I have a single ABCS engine. What that is my intake cams are being phased pretty much by oil pressure. And that pressure is being distributed to those little ABCS gears by the oil control valve, which is being duty cycled. Anyway, I can get real weird on you if you really want me to. But you guys can tell that this is what I want to talk about. I just don't ever really talk about it. Although I was very happy that the video of the top 5 performance mods, when I can really get like kind of in depth about, you know, performance mods, how they work, was actually well received. It got some good views and really good comments and stuff like that, so I was really stoked on that. I was happy you guys enjoyed that. I am going to start making more content, getting more in depth, and pretty much, I guess, just focusing on what I think to be is my strengths, which is, I guess you could say, like a pretty good knowledge, I would say. Oh God, I hate saying that because I don't want it to come off like I know things. It's hard to come off in a way to explain things and not sound like a know-it-all, I guess. I hope I'm doing a good job. I don't know. I'm blown out. I'm always blown out, all right? Blown out. All right, I refuse to miss this freaking moment. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to actually pass this, but I am not missing it. I am not gonna miss this. Let's go! Let's freaking go! Whoa, I was scared the Subaru was gonna blow up before I got it. Oh my God. Did you feel it? Like, does it feel old now? Is this old? Is this car freaking garbage now? Oh my God, I feel weird. I feel like a new man. I think this is happening right now. Does it still? Yeah, nope, still, hold on. Oh, still sounds good. 1 pull for the boys. Nice little pull for the freaking boys in 5th. Wow, we just did it. Like, we did it together. Like, did you feel it? I felt it. Wow. Even smells different. Oh my God, we have a freaking Subaru on our ass. Do you have 100,000 miles? Probably not, because you look like a freaking new car. It's okay. I'm gonna see the camera and be like, what's going on? All right, anyway. Wow, I mean, we did it. Real quick, before I actually show you those little ABCS things that I told you about, if you didn't already hear me explain it before in one of my previous videos, this is what it should look like. They should mirror each other. So you can see I'm just sitting on a stoplight, bada bing, bada boom there. And you can see these 2 ABCS. And when I hit the gas like that, you can see they mirror each other, which is exactly what they should be doing. And that's one thing that went wrong with my car. That's one thing that I was data logging to figure out my problem, or that weird hesitation on boost. So you can do that yourself if you have an access board. You know, learn something every day. $100,000 miles and we are still freaking good, boys. This is the last thing I wanted to show you. These little guys, this little blue connector there, that's what connects. That's the little oil control valve right there. That's what we're looking at when we're looking at the ABCS timing. That's what controls it on the little access port that I was showing you earlier. That's pretty much the last thing I wanted to talk about. You know, a few things, not too much to really check up on that I really noticed over the course of owning this car. Nothing too catastrophic has happened because, like I said, of the small maintenance that I do very religiously to keep this thing running good. So I think that is going to be it for this video. I just wanted to record that milestone and provide you guys with a little bit of knowledge on maintenance and upkeep, and just some important things that I think you should be implementing into your car life, I guess you could say, to make sure Subaru is running good, or any car for that matter. You can apply that to kind of like any car that you may own in the future and stuff like that. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.